Good evening and welcome to the Mott Community College Board of Trustees regular meeting, November 18th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. All those that are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The meeting is now called to order. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I move to add the agenda as first order of business under new business, the hiring of permanent president.
Okay.
I object.
Okay. Is there a second for this motion? Pardon? The motion was, could you state the motion again?
Yes, I move to add the agenda as first order of business under new business, the hiring of permanent president.
Second.
Okay. The motion, we have a second. We had so noted we have an objection, but we're going to have a roll call vote on this.
Is there discussion?
Yes, we're going to have discussion.
So we already have.
Since she made the motion,
On-
she
on
has the
October-
Mr. Freeman, she made the motion. By
She made
Robert's
a
Rules of
motion,
Order,
there's a
she has the
second.
option to speak first. Would you like to speak on this first, or would you like to wait? Would you like to wait for a moment?
I believe it speaks for itself. It's
Okay.
it's our job as board to hire permanent president.
Okay. Mr. Freeman, you are the next person.
So on October 8th, we actually had, the board majority had made recommendation and the manner in which we would move forward with the presidential search. That action has not been completed to date. That's, I think, going to come up a little bit later in our conversation about what has the delay been from the October 8th vote, where a majority of the board voted to follow a process for the presidential search, and the motion which has been suggested on the floor is in opposition to an approved motion that has already been approved.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments? Seeing none. Roll call vote. Trustee Couch.
Yes.
Trustee Freeman.
No.
Trustee Reyes.
No.
Trustee Swanson.
Yes.
Trustee Walcott.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
Clarification, this is a motion just to bring it to the floor, correct?
That's all
Yes.
this is, yes. And my vote is yes. So it will be added to the agenda, and the request was that it was at the beginning of new business. You had a question. John?
Second add to the agenda?
Pardon?
I have a second add to the agenda when you're ready to accept it.
Okay, first let's finish up this one under new business. It will be,
I can't understand the mic.
okay, Trustee Daly,
Under new business, I move that we add revised strategy for presidential search.
Okay. Is there a second?
Well, no second is required if there's no objection. There was no objection.
That's fine.
Did you object?
No, I was going to second it.
You were going to second it. Okay. So we will add that after 2.58C. See, we've got A and B, so we'll have that C, revised process. Is that correct, Mr. Daly?
The wording's correct. I'm looking at the placement on the agenda. I see A, B.
C. Bottom of page 959.
Oh, well, that will be C then. Okay.
Okay. Are there any other additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chair,
Who said that? You-
just a point of clarification. So for trustee Couch's motion, would that be item 2.59?
No, it's at the beginning.
That's going to
It
be
would be above 2.52.
correct. Would that be 2.59 then? That would move above 2.52?
We'll call it 2.59,
Call it 2.50.
but we will have it before 2.52.
2.50. Oh, they got that already, so we can't.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, trustee Freeman.
I'd like to ask our attorney, basically, given the actions of the board, the October 8th action deciding on a process that we would follow, this suggested motion that was provided by trustee Couch actually now circumvents the process that we had already agreed upon. So if you could weigh in on that, please.
Well, all I know is her motion was to make an addition to the agenda which said hiring a permanent president. I don't know if that means she's actually going to move to actually seek to hire a permanent president. I will add that previously the board had ruled not to do a search, not to use a search firm. The board changed its mind and then made the decision to do a search and hire a search firm. So the board it does have the authority to change its mind and to make redo decisions.
But we did reverse that, or actually the person who made the initial motion about moving forward was the one who then basically rescinded it and changed it. So unless this is something that Ms. Wolcott wants to bring up and back out of, the process that we had already established for identifying the process and how we should move forward, then basically trying to put that ahead of, we've never backed out of the October 8th decision. Therefore, a new process cannot be established if we have not decided to rescind the approved process from October 8th.
I think it's a great discussion to have when we get to that item. I mean, right now we're just talking about what the agenda is, and I'll be glad to give you a more thorough analysis when we get to that item on the agenda.
I just believe that it has a bearing upon the placement of where it's put onto the agenda. And if we go through and decide if this is on first, and then it's decided to rescind the October 8th decision, then only at that time would we be able to act upon the motion which was provided by trustee Couch.
Logic would dictate that you would want to have this discussion with the other discussions down at 5.18. I think I agree with you there. But from the standpoint of the motion, the request was to put it at the first item. That motion passed. Again, when we get to that item on the agenda, this is, unless you guys want to make a motion now to change the order of where this lays in the agenda, that would be a great discussion to have at that time.
So, all those in favor of approving the agenda as is set forth with the changes, signify by saying aye.
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 No.
Opposed? Nay.
No.
No.
So we have 5 nays and 2 noes.
Ask for a roll call.
Roll call vote. Trustee Reyes.
No.
Trustee Freeman.
No.
Trustee Couch.
Yes.
Trustee Swanson.
Yes.
Wendy.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
Yes.
Trustee Everman, yes. The adoption of the agenda with changes has been made. Jordan, do we have any communications from the public? The right button.
Yes, Mr. Chair. We have the City of Grand Blanc that has submitted, or sent 3 letters to the Board of Trustees. The first one has been dated October 25th, 2024, and it states, notice to all taxing jurisdictions, the City of Grand Blanc proposes to approve a Brownfield Plan Number 2 for the garden building property located at 210 Reed Road, Grand Blanc, Michigan. The City Council of Grand Blanc has established a Brownfield Redevelopment Authority in accordance with the Brownfield Redevelopment Act 381 Public Acts of the State of Michigan of 1996, as amended. The act provides a means for local units of government to facilitate the revitalization of environmentally distressed, functionally obsolete, and/or blighted areas. The authority has prepared and adopted a brownfield plan for redevelopment of the garden building property located at 210 Reed Road, Grand Blanc, Michigan. The proposed reuse for this property is mixed use and commercial property. The property is contaminated with hazardous substances under environmental laws and regulations, meets the definition of housing property, and/or was determined by an assessor to be functionally obsolete or blighted. The act permits the authority to use tax increment financing for redevelopment projects, including in the brownfield plan. Tax increment financing allows the authority to capture tax revenues attributable to increases in the taxable value of real property located on the eligible property, which may include adjacent or contiguous parcels. Increases in taxable value may be attributable to various factors, including remediations, new constructions, rehabilitations, remodeling, alterations, and additions on the eligible property. The plan will be adopted at the November 13th, 2024 meeting of the City Council of the City of Grand Blanc, held at 7 p.m. at 203 East Grand Blanc Road, Grand Blanc, Michigan. If you have any questions or comments concerning the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, you may attend the meeting and express those concerns during the public hearing. You may also direct your inquiries to Wendy Jean Buer, City Manager.
Thank you very much. Are there any other communications?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the next one is from the City of Grand Blanc, dated November 2nd, 2024. For the following tax millages, Mott Operating. Dear Mott Community College President and Board of Trustees, I am writing to you regarding the Downtown Development Authority's capture in the City of Grand Blanc. I have attached to this letter the 2024 annual reports. These are annual submissions that are required to be submitted to your board under Michigan Public Act of 57 of 2018. These submissions should be presented to your board of directors and included as correspondence from the City of Grand Blanc Downtown Development Authority. Please email me at City Manager with an email address that this notice can be sent to in the future. If you have any questions, please feel free to call or contact me. Sincerely, Wendy Jean Bueller.
Thank you very much. Are there any other communications?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the last one from the City of Grand Blanc, dated November 15th, 2024. Dear Mott Community College President and Board of Trustees, pursuant to the Recodified Tax Increment Financing Act, Act 57 of 2018, the City of Grand Blanc Downtown Development Authority is providing public notice to your board of the second information meeting on Wednesday, December 4th, 2024, meeting at 7 p.m. The purpose of the meeting will be to inform the public of the goals and direction of the authority, including projects to be undertaken in the coming year. An updated 2024 DDA annual report is enclosed. Please contact me if any questions. Sincerely, Wendy Jean Buer.
Thank you very much. Are there any other?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the last communication is from President Robin Peak, RWFW. Dear Mott Community College trustees, how fortunate you are to have Shonda Richardson Snell on leadership. She's brilliant, has a solid track record for saving her employees money, strong development on top of it. She's homegrown, Genesee lady. Most schools have to hunt across the nation for this caliber of a lady. Quick reminder, freedom of speech is a two-way street. Make sure you're living up to an honorable standard in every meeting. Mott Community College needs you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other communications?
That would conclude board communications.
Thank you. In accordance with Section 1640 of the meeting procedure, board policy states that the board chairperson shall invite the public to address the board. All citizens who wish to address the board or who wish to communicate with the board in writing shall identify themselves and/or the group they represent, if any. They must also state the reason for addressing the board. Citizens addressing the board shall be limited to 5 minutes in making their remarks unless the time is increased or decreased by consent of the board. A brief supporting the remarks made by the citizen may be submitted to the board for its consideration. Do we have any comments from the public?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The first comment's been submitted by Ann Figueroa of Mount Morris, Michigan, on the topic of final board meeting.
Good evening, trustees. According to the schedule, this is the last board meeting of the year. The next board meeting will be a committee of the whole or a board retreat. And I'd be remiss to note that this will be Michael Freeman's last board meeting. So I want to speak to that. Michael Freeman was elected Board of Trustees in 2011. Michael, a graduate of the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, began his career as a community organizer with the Local Initiative Support Corporation, AmeriCorps, program in 1994, where he worked to facilitate dialogue and consensus among community stakeholders, neighborhood planning, and community advocacy here in Flint. Michael has served as a Chief Operating Officer and Associate Director of Programmatic Underwriting for the City of Detroit's Housing and Revitalization Department. In this capacity, he directed and oversaw departmental operations and the Community Development Block Grant for the City of Detroit. In late 2020, Genesee County Land Bank Authority announced that Michael will be its new executive director. After an exhaustive search, he was chosen because of his more than 26 years in community and economic development to lead that organization. Michael uses his experience, education, and expertise every day in service to the people of Flint and Genesee County. He was instrumental in the creation of the culinary downtown campus. He used his expertise to help Mott Community College bring this vision to life. He is a former chair of this board as well as a former treasurer. That was just a brief synopsis of his resume, but what I really wanted to speak about is Michael's heart and caring for Mott Community College. He's given so much time and energy that has helped Mott become the shining star in Genesee County. I can't look at you, Michael. Stop that. When I was a new trustee, Michael reached out to me and helped me understand what my role was. He was always available for questions and took his personal time to educate me on how important being a board member is and how we need to listen to the public. He learned this mentorship skill from previous trustees, Lenora Crowdy, Al Kogel, John Snell, and Sally Sheen Joseph. He learned well and paid it forward. He has become a great friend over the years, and he is precious to me. Most of the staff and the faculty understand how much Michael gave to the college and how we have all benefited from his attention and love. I honor his choice not to run again and step back from the board. However, I know that if anyone at Mott needs help, he will be there to help. Thank you, Michael, for your wisdom, insight, and your wildly wonderful, sometimes wicked sense of humor. A quote from Harry Potter that always sticks with me. It's our choices, Harry, that shows us truly what we are, far more than our abilities. Thank you for choosing Mott.
Thank you very much. Are there any comments? Other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the next comment has been submitted by Sharon White of Acorn Road on the topic of support for Shonda Snell, President. I'm writing to you in support of your selection of Shonda Snell as president. I attended church services with her and know her to be an intelligent businesswoman and woman of God. The Board of Trustees selected Shonda because of all of her attributes in leading the college to thrive. Please continue to stand strong and fight for the person you chose. If you are worried only about your own seats on the board and willing to sacrifice the best person to help your college, you and the college will fail. Please unite and fight for Shonda to lead your college. Opposition to Shonda's prayer before each meeting. So what? The First Amendment of our Constitution grants her the right to do it. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free speech or free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. There is no such wording or implication in our Constitution to separation of church and state. Whoever starts saying this over and over is wrong. There's no such thing as separation of church and state. Her strong business and financial background would indeed generate revenue for the college. Isn't that what you want? Instead, people are focusing on saying prayers before a meeting. Now, doesn't that sound absurd? Shonda's strong business background is what you want, not an academic. She is the right person for the permanent position for president. Show your support, strength, and confidence in Shonda, and her work ethic and integrity will bring positive results to the college you manage. Isn't that your goal?
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The next comment's been submitted by Lauren Wilson of Bloomfield Hills on the topic of Shonda Richardson Snell. Dear Board of Trustees, I appreciate your time and willingness to listen to my insight and experiences of my friend, Shonda Richardson Snell. Shonda is a wonderful, caring, and loving mother. She has done an incredible job raising 2 children into self-sufficient, caring, accomplished, and independent young adults. Shonda is an accomplished professional with an impressive resume. She has been tasked to lead large companies' financial decisions and contributing to their growth and success. Shonda is generous with her time, talents, and gifts, supporting individuals and groups impacting various initiatives across her community. Most importantly, Shonda is a person of strong Christian faith. She is devout and unapologetic in her love for her Savior, Jesus Christ. She is an absolute inspiration to all those who have had the privilege to cross her path. Shonda has sacrificed personally, professionally, and emotionally to stand unwavering in her beliefs. Shonda is unafraid and does not shy away from taking an unpopular stand to protect herself, her beliefs, and others who do not necessarily have the resources, awareness, or ability to do the same. I have witnessed her do so on multiple occasions with the most pure intentions. Shonda is a woman of integrity and humility, and Mott Community College is incredibly fortunate to have her time and talents. I know the Board of Trustees made the right decision to bring Shonda on board to help steer the direction of the college. I encourage you all to stand firm and keep her in role. The strengths, talents, and skill set that was identified in her when she was chosen to take the position is only part of what Shonda offers to your community. I appreciate your time and consideration. Sincerely, Lauren Wilson.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The next comment's been submitted by Frederick Nienstedt of Clinton Township on the topic of MCC President Contract. MCC Board of Education members, please consider my public response in support of President Shonda Richardson Snell within the context of opportunity and foresight. My over 50-year career in manufacturing excelled because of the combination of classroom and workplace experience. My professional achievements began at a community college while I was still in high school. The opportunity to gain valuable technical skills at such a young age would not have occurred without the guidance of business-oriented leadership at the community college. Please consider the unprecedented skills of a business and financial leadership found in Shonda as a strategic investment in the future Genesee County. Manufacturing is the engine of economic success. Supplying a modern technologically proficient workforce is a critical requirement of any community, especially in the high demand for automotive manufacturing. I could not have been successful without the opportunity to upgrade my skills at successive intervals of generational technical innovation. My success as a citizen, husband, and father contributed to my community in countless ways. Providing my support financially was only possible through studious effort and access to opportunity. Educational opportunity based on modern manufacturing requirements and skill sets. Identifying and financing the educational model that will produce a modernized workforce is imperative. Shonda is the best choice for future success. Countless dividends will be gained for your community with her priceless leadership.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the next comment's been submitted by Mark Gurley of Grand Rapids on the topic of trustee meeting 11/18/2024, interim president. Since the last board of trustee meeting at MCC on October 28th, there's been a shift in our nation that everyone can feel. Common sense is popular again. The woke agenda and demonizing of people who have faith in Jesus Christ was dealt a fatal blow. Interim President Shonda Richardson Snell has come under fire for her faith more than any other complaint. She is credentialed to lead Mott. She has the ability and the favor to make Mott Community College a leader among community colleges across the state of Michigan. The best leader is a steady, thoughtful, uncompromising person. This is the opposite of adult temper tantrums that are aptly displayed by those who oppose this type of leadership. I encourage you to support Shonda and appoint her as the permanent president of the college with our common goals in mind. Dr. Reverend Mark Gurley.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the next comment's been submitted by Maddie Christine of Linden on the topic, thank you to Shonda Richardson Snell. My name is Maddie, and I'm in my first semester at Mott. I'm writing to say how thankful I am for President Richardson Snell. She truly has the heart for the students. When I and my family reached out to her for help with the situation, she actually took the time to do what was needed to help sort through and fix it. She listened to us and then went to work sorting things out. Within a few days, she solved our problem. Most might not expect a college president to do something like that. Most would expect to call up their school's president and to get redirected to the person or that person. We should expect this because college presidents have more important things to do than to take the time to help with the smaller problems. But President Richardson Snell did take the time, and because she did, I am so grateful. She really has helped to make the first of my college experiences a lot less scary, and because of her help, I know I'm going in the right direction and will be successful. Please select her as the permanent president. She is just the kind of person we need to make things at Mott so much better for everyone.
Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The next comment has been submitted by Dr. Christopher Toma of Linden on the topic, Shonda Richardson Snell's presidential candidacy. Much discussion, both positive and negative, have occurred concerning Shonda Richardson Snell's candidacy for Mott Community College president. More discussion that would be willing to endure. Among various commentaries, the lines appear relatively cemented, and they materialize when considering the candidate selection process. There's one side that would prefer to pursue what any onlooker might call the more traditional or conservative route. The route has two fundamental premises. First, it assumes a search for a presidential candidate from within its own spheres, and as such, the search must look to current staff or faculty, that is, people well entrenched in higher education and its mechanics. Its second premise insists that if the search is not to consider its own, then it expands, must be national, and yet its scope must remain limited to the other higher ed institutions and the typical candidates with the same higher ed entrenchment and mechanics. Then there is the alternate position, the more liberally progressive perspective, which recommends that the trustees think beyond the box, considering what nearly half of all other colleges and universities in America, 46% to be precise, are doing or have done, which is to choose a president from a less academia-insulated sphere one in particular that gives birth to the two essential skills that are providing vital to 21st century higher education's perpetuation and success. That spear is the corporate spear, and the two most sought after credentials are, first, success in corporate business administration, and second, success in corporate turnaround strategies. In other words, in the increasingly turbulent 21st century college market, what was once relative to college administration is no longer, and the colleges that are succeeding have embraced this alternate position. There is a saying from William James that a great many think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudice. Observing what has happened so far, it is telling that Mott Community College seemed willing to pursue the alternate pathway, and then strangely, when specific characteristics relative to Shonda's faith or personal worldview became known, there was a shift from within the ranks to shun her. Even though she has every credential followed by every success this college could ever hope for. Not to mention she's one of us. She was born and raised in Flint in Genesee County. This is her home, and of any candidate we might ever find, she has invested far beyond every reasonable measure in this institution's success. Could it be that rather than mindfully contemplating what's needed for the school, many have simply rearranged their prejudices and therefore the hoped for search process parameters, all to convince themselves that Shonda, the best candidate we could ever receive, is not fit for the position? I wonder. That said, once again, I humbly implore the trustees to consider her candidacy with an open mind. Do not rearrange your prejudice and call it thinking. Look at the college's actual needs and then weigh those needs using objective scales. Shonda is more qualified. Her resume is unquestionably stellar. Her devotion through what has been quite tumultuous personally speaks volumes. Let's end the discord and seek her as the permanent president. Indeed, there will be some unhappy folks when that happens. However, my guess is that her labor, devotion, and eventual results on behalf of all faculty, staff, students, and community will settle their concerns and reassure them that she was the right choice. Thank you again for considering this perspective.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The next comment's been submitted by Kirk Shutter of Brighton, Michigan, on the topic of Shonda Richardson Snell. Dear Mott Board, I would like you to know and consider a few things about Shonda. Contrary to what you might think, there's a lack of negatives with having Shonda as president. She can be counted on morally. That means you will see no corruption charges. You will see no sex scandals. You will see no embezzlement, child molestation, or other negatives because before you is a woman of highest character and faith. I understand that some of you have a resistance to she being in this position because she is a religious person. What is a religious person? It is faith for one thing. Compare that to a trans ideologue. That person has some form of a belief system, grossly incorrect, I maintain, but faith anyway. So then are you saying you would tolerate a trans ideologue but not a Christian? She is all positives. Her faith is one that holds that all are flawed and that forgiveness is central. That gives her joy and hope. Aren't these qualities something that you would highly desire? You know her competence is high. That has been addressed by many others. So I say that Shonda is retained without reservation, knowing that you will get the top quality person. Does her commitment to God and prayer give you pause? That is a minor compromise to be explored later when you got the best person right in your hands. Thank you for consideration of my earnest communication, Kirk Shutter.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The next comment has been submitted by Bobby Walton of Davison, Michigan, on the topic of policy.
Good evening. I came to speak about policy, but after what I've just heard, I may change what I have to say. I'm going to read to you an article that was from September 15th, 2024. and it's written by Steve Robinson, who used to work here at my college and is now the president of Lansing Community College. And the heading is "We Have Food at Home," with a subheading, "Why Colleges Shouldn't Do It Themselves for the Search for President." In my many years as a community college leader, I have hired my fair share of consultants. One college process that should almost always be undertaken by an external firm, however, is the search for a new president. As someone who has been through this process many times, twice as a successful candidate who went on to become the client college's selected president, I have several reasons why the use of a search firm is critical for success in hiring a community college CEO. Much of my experience in this area is not public knowledge, as it comes from a very private and individual process of being a finalist for a community college presidency multiple times. First, let's consider the complex presidential job market. While the use of search firms for all kinds of executive positions at a community college is increasingly common, it is nearly universal for CEO jobs. A quick environmental scan to verify this fact is easy to perform. Search for 2-year college presidencies on a national job site, such as higheredsjobs.com, and scroll to the bottom of each posting. Nearly all of these jobs encourage candidates to contact a search consultant or consulting firm that has been retained by the college to recruit, screen, and recommend candidates through a detailed search. By the time the posting is live, that firm has helped the college develop a candidate profile, create a prospectus about the opportunity and the current state of the college, as well as design a process for internal and external stakeholders to be part of the search and have their voices heard. Hiring a college president is a big deal, and these firms specialize in proven best practices to make a good hire. The CEO search firm business is a cottage industry, and for good reason. When done properly, a presidential search is something a college undertakes infrequently and results in the selection of an inspiring and innovative leader who can move the college forward. It's not something a college does every day. A do-it-yourself search process for the college's top job can send up a variety of red flags for aspiring presidents, especially in the calendar of that search, if it appears truncated or rushed. A third-party search firm adds credibility to a search in ways that might not occur to individuals who have not been through one. Think about this process from the perspective of an aspiring president. Early on, candidates for college presidencies have all kinds of questions about the college and its context that are not in the candidate and institutional profile. In fact, the information potential CEOs want most is probably not the official documents about the search. What are the current obstacles, barriers, and shortcomings of the college? Is there turmoil, strife, or controversy lurking under the surface? What kind of candidate is the college really looking for? Are there difficult decisions that need to be made by the next CEO? Veteran consultants who do this all the time are much better at answering these questions with candor. Further, it is far more comfortable for a presidential candidate to ask these questions of a neutral third party. Remember, for the candidate in a presidential search, everyone at the college is either a potential subordinate, including the HR folks handling the details, or a member of the college's governing board, and therefore the candidate's new boss. Interfacing with an external firm in the early stages of the process is far better for all concerned. And I'm going to stop reading at that point because he goes on to give more detail. What I came to talk about was the establishment of policy, and what I'm urging you to do is to look at what you're preparing to do as a statement of your policy. And I'm going to cut right into what I have here. And I say that I'm a little nerdy, and I have to admit that. I came before you first in May of 2023, and I talked to you at that point about following laws, procedures, rules, and processes as the best way to guarantee democracy in any institution, and certainly any institution that's publicly funded. And I refer to Mr. Robinson's essay when I talk about this here. Robinson speaks to the presidential search process based on his own experience. He once taught English and worked at Mott Community College for 23 years. Lansing Community College is the second community college he has headed. He has a PhD in English from Michigan State University. And Robinson says, quote, "The fiscal resources expended in retaining an ethical and reliable search firm are worthy of the expense. And this does not mean that the college lacks a dedicated and talented HR team. Any potential CEO applying for a college presidency will understand the current HR capacity of colleges and universities. If I've exceeded my 5 minutes, may I extend my comments? I have not. If there are challenges or
Without objection, we'll extend our comments. There's no objections. Please go forward.
If there are challenges or anything like the ones I currently face, searching for and filling any open college positions, especially jobs at the executive level, has never been harder. Robinson further says, one college process that should almost always be undertaken by an external firm is the search for a new president. The work of a search firm to find and identify candidates for the office of president of Mott will not be inexpensive. The offer by the Mott Foundation to underwrite up to $250,000 of this cost is an impressive statement of policy made by the Mott Foundation. The foundation has a public policy interest, an interest and commitment to the well-being of our community and our college. Mr. Ridgway White, the president and CEO of the Mott Foundation, made the offer in an October 3rd letter to the chairman of the Mott board. White writes that he is making the offer to fund, quote, a nationwide search that would engage the board, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and community members. It's no secret there is a common and widespread belief this search is just for show. As Robinson said in his essay about the presidential search process, he once applied for a position where it was rumored that the outcome was preordained. He was concerned and wanted assurance that this was not so. He writes, it was my intention to withdraw my candidacy and no longer seek the position. I was not interested in participating in a process that had been designed just for show. It would behoove this board to quash any such rumors which would discourage applicants when our search needs to be wide-searching. This board can show commitment to an open and honest process by doing everything by the book and filling this important administrative office. Identify and hire the best research firm and follow their advice. Include the community, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and the board in the process. Allocate our shared resources, money, time, energy, and personnel to carry out a task that reflects that the policy of this board is to provide an antidote to the poison of the poison tree. The community you represent expects nothing less. And I would add, for our interim president, Richardson Snell, that competition for a job that you're qualified for actually makes you stronger once you get the job. So there's nothing wrong with competing for a valuable position. And thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments? Jordan?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The next comment has been submitted by Judith Marinelli of Milford, Michigan, on the topic of Shonda Richardson Snell. It is my honor and pleasure to provide this letter of recommendation to the Board of Trustees for Shonda Richardson Snell as she seeks to fill the position of President of Mott Community College. I met Shonda a couple months ago at a conference and shared several topics with her. In that time, I was impressed with how self-confident and driven and proactively helpful she was. She seemed to be able to solve problems fast and could, in my opinion, introduce several new initiatives for improvement to your college. She is more than qualified for this position. Her overwhelming leadership as a business person speaks for itself and should be a guide to how she can improve the academic quality of your college and a community she so intently loves. Her credentials show phenomenal success in fundraising, as well as saving millions of dollars for her past employers. Look carefully as you decide to make this important decision that could impact the future of your administration. Let her have a voice as well, or as we are all striving for the same goal, to make Mott the best of the best. Seems to be a win-win situation in my book. In closing, I'd like to restate my strong support for Shonda for the position of president. I'm confident that she will surpass your expectations in this role. Thank you, the Board of Trustees, in advance for your time and consideration in this matter. Respectfully, Judith Marinelli.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The next comment has been submitted by Reverend Dr. Jameson Hardy of Lake Orion on the topic of Shonda Richardson Snell for permanent president. Board of Trustees members, let me begin by thanking you for your time and service to this institution. I understand full well what kind of time commitment and effort goes into this type of work. I serve on a public school board in Pennsylvania for 8 years before relocating to Michigan, and so I appreciate what you do on behalf of this community. I also understand the burden you bear, especially when it comes to filling a college's presidential position. I am sorry that I am unable to attend and read this letter personally. My own vocational responsibilities require significant travel as I regularly visit the universities in my care. Yes, I am the president of a university system with 6 institutions on 7 campuses across the continental United States. I fully understand what it takes to lead and manage an institution of higher education in today's challenging landscape. Many voices will resonate with their own interest as you work through this process. My words are meant to simply convey what I see and what I believe is best for Mott. I have close ties with 2 students who are currently or will be attending Mott next year. For that reason, the topic of choosing the next president matters to me. I have had the pleasure of speaking with and getting to know Shonda, and I find her to be engaging and intelligent. The depth of her knowledge and understanding are clearly evident, even in casual conversations. She knows what she's doing, and she knows what she's talking about. Likewise, her commitment and passion for Mott shine through, too. I have been equally impressed by her dedication and ability to build strong relationships with students, faculty, and staff. She possesses a unique blend of academic and business experience, which has allowed her to navigate complex challenges and make sound decisions that benefit the entire Mott community. These are qualities that are crucial to anyone who would lead a university and guide it through the tumultuous waters of higher education. Leading a college university in today's landscape requires a critical lens and savvy business acumen that Shonda has more than demonstrated she possesses. Ms. Richardson Snell is an exceptional leader with a deep commitment to the mission of Mott Community College. Her desire to move the institution forward, harnessing the power of uniqueness of Mott, is understandably commendable. Unfortunately, this can cause some to be critical and exert influence that is distracting and unnecessary. Without a doubt, the landscape of higher education today is under a massive transformation. We face demographic cliffs and fiscal challenges. Today's college university president must possess the ability to understand and critically examine aspects that are often foreign to traditional college administrations' thinking. I believe Ms. Richardson Snell has shown that she is capable of carrying out this task with integrity, leaning towards success. Your role as a trustee is to make decisions that are best for Mott and not what is best for a vocal minority who seek to recalibrate the process and distract from the work at hand. Engaging in a national search when you have such a capable candidate at the helm today, in my mind, is both unwise and irresponsible. As one who has responsibility over multiple universities, I can say that Shonda is a highly qualified and exceedingly capable candidate that you, the trustees, should simply appoint as the permanent president at Mott. Thank you for receiving my words and opinion. Dr. Jameson Hardy, President, Concordia University System.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Comments been submitted by Eric Colm of Beachway Drive on the topic November 18th trustee meeting. Shonda Richardson Snell. Thank you, MCC trustees, for the honor of speaking to you today. I appreciate your commitment to the staff and students of MCC, as well as the enrichment of the community. I was a Genesee County resident for the vast majority of my life, having lived most of the time within Flint City and most recently in the Linden area, all communities that I am proud to have called home. Much of my family has enjoyed Genesee County and been recipients of diplomas and degrees in higher education from the many fine institutions around Flint. These include MCC, U of M Flint, GMI Kettering, Baker, and even Jordan College. Therefore, I feel I have an understanding of the strong history that both students and faculty have for this area. All this said, I am putting my full support behind interim president Shonda Snell in becoming the permanent MCC president. I truly feel that she is uniquely suited for the position due to community, corporate, and treasury background. Her proven track record and insight are precisely what is required of this office. A heart for the student, body, and faculty, combined with the proven track record of financial expertise, make her ideal to face the challenges of the future. Thank you for the opportunity to address this board regarding making interim President Snell the permanent president of MCC.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
That concludes public comment.
As is well known by all of you, the Mott Board of Trustees is engaged in the process of selecting a new permanent president. This is one of the key responsibilities of an elected Board of Trustees to a community college. During this process, the board, collectively, and even some individual members of the board, have been unfairly vilified and
Mr.
bullied
Chair,
by
this
those who
is not on the
believe
agenda.
that they know better.
This is
You're
not,
out of order.
No, Mr.
This is the
Mr. you're-
comment from the chair.
No, this is not on the agenda.
Please,
Is this on the agenda?
Mr. Freeman,
Your board,
I
your
am
board
speaking
chair.
as
Yeah,
the
and
chair.
board chair, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to run the meeting.
by those
and you're not
believe
running
that
the
they know
meeting.
better
Point of order.
and who believe that they are the
Point of
fountains
order.
of wisdom
Point of order.
concerning the
Mr.
decision.
Attorney,
and the board doesn't
Attorney,
carry
can
on
you
the
please
manner
weigh in on this?
that
He's
they
not
want.
following the agenda.
And that board is a bunch
not-
of fools.
he's
You're
not
out of
following-
order.
you're out of
Call for a
order.
Point of order. It's time to have the
Point of order. I recognize
Point of
your
order,
point of order.
you are not running the meeting. You are board chair, you're not running the meeting. You're not following the agenda. The agenda was approved by this body. The majority approved it. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
This is my comment. Is
Then
there an
you should
objection
st-
to my
then you
comment?
you need to step down as chair,
Is
have
this your-
the
is
vice
there
chair
a
step
co-
in
is
your
there a
place.
problem with my
and
comment
then
as chair?
Yes, you have to relinquish the gavel, hand it to the vice chair, and then you become part of the public comment. You are not right now.
Sue, come up here for a moment. As is well known by all of you, the
you
Mott
state
Board
your
of
name?
Trustees is
Point of
engaged
order.
in the
State-
process
point of
of
order. State your
selecting
name.
a new
Point of
permanent
order.
president.
State your name.
This is one of the key responsibilities of an elected Board of Trustees to a community college.
Point of
During
order.
this process, the board collectively,
Trustee.
and even some individual members of the
Trustee.
board, have been unfairly vilified
Gavel.
and bullied by
The
those who
gavel.
believe that they know better
It's right in front of you.
and who believe that they are the fountains of wisdom concerning this decision. And if the board doesn't carry on in the manner
The gavel.
they want, then the board is a bunch of fools. This bullying has come
Point of
both
order.
from
Point of
within
order.
and outside of Mott.
Point of
And
order.
it has damaged the
Point of
search
order.
process through false
Point of
rumors
order.
Trustee.
and unjust mischaracterizations. I
I-
would like to
Trustee,
speak to just
stop.
You have
one
to recognize
example
the
of
point
this.
of order.
Trustee, stop.
On October 7th, 2024,
Madam
the board
Chair,
revised
I make
its
a
prior
motion to
decision
remove
as
Andy
to how to
Everman
conduct
from
the
the
search
proceedings.
and its
I
decision
make
to
a
go
motion-
forward with the national search
We have-
for a
I made a
permanent
motion
president,
to remove Andy
utilizing
for
a
disrupting the
nationally
meeting.
recognized search firm
We
within
have
the
support.
parameters acceptable to the Charles Stewart Mott
You have to.
Foundation
You
and
have
its
to.
offer of
You
a
can't say
grant
no.
for the purpose.
Is there any seconds?
Yeah.
All right, we'll have a discussion.
Following this decision, I,
Madam Chair.
Chair,
No.
spoke with the
Just
president.
state-
Andy,
Lloyd
that's
White.
enough.
Just state your name.
No.
No, you have a motion on the floor.
To
now.
remove
We
him
need to
from the
vote.
proceeding, he is actually disrupting the proceeding. No, no, we're past state your
past
name.
that.
Now I made a motion to have him removed from the meeting. You have a second. You called discussion. Recognize anyone for discussion. And then after that, we do a roll call vote.
Discussion.
Andy, why don't you just say your name?
No, it's past that.
No, I
He is-
understand that, and
He-
we'll
he
vote
is-
on that.
But now it's disruptive, it's embarrassing. We have business before us right now. He is openly hostile towards the board right now, will not listen, will not abide by the rules which are expected of every single other person who provides public comment. Anyone else, Andy would have thrown out of this meeting. So it's only fair that we treat him like we treat everybody else.
Madam Chair. Andy, if we all have to follow the rules, you have to.
I can't hear you.
Fine. If we all have to follow these rules, you should do the same.
So do you want me to give this?
Call the question.
Call the question.
You can't call the question. He's not.
Yeah.
Huh? Wait.
No, I called the question,
You call the question?
yes, because we're not having discussion apropos to the motion.
I ask for a roll call vote.
All right, call to question on the motion by trustee Freeman to remove Chair Everman from the remainder of the proceeding of the meeting. Trustee Reyes seconded it. Roll call vote. Trustee Freeman.
Yes.
Trustee Reyes.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
Yes.
Trustee Wolcott.
No.
Trustee Swanson.
No.
Trustee
No.
Couch.
No.
That's 3 nays, 3 ayes. The motion fails.
Now, would you state your name, please?
Now I'm allowed to go forward?
State your
No.
name, yes.
State your name.
Pardon?
State your name.
Andy Everman.
Okay.
Madam Chair, could we have the attorney please provide us with the parameters under which comment is being made about personal attacks, things that Andy reminds us of?
There's no limitation, and your public comment does not provide limitations with respect to the nature of the subjects to be addressed. In special meetings, it is limited, and in the general meeting, it is not.
But, I mean,
Unfortunately, the First Amendment allows people to say bad things about other people.
oh, actually, we're reminded by the board chair at every meeting that personal attacks will not be tolerated. Does he not?
And he
Yes.
he receives many personal attacks
He
throughout
does.
He does, so when they,
Yeah,
and
and
they
he
go on.
shuts in, they shut down, and sometimes people are actually evicted from the meeting.
As long as I've
So-
been here, nobody's been evicted, so. Obviously, the request for everybody is that you would hope that they would provide decorum and respect to everybody when they give their public comments.
Start again?
Yes.
As is well known by all of you, the Mott Board of Trustees is engaged in the process of selecting a
Madam
new
Chair,
permanent
point of
president.
order. Who is
This
addressing
is
us?
one of the key
He gave
responsibilities.
his name.
I didn't hear him
He
give
gave
his.
He
when?
did. He gave his
did?
name. Yes, I asked
did?
him, and he gave his name.
As is well known by all of you, the Mott Board of Trustees is engaged in the process of selecting a new permanent president. This is one of the key responsibilities of an elected Board of Trustees to a community college. During this process, the board collectively, and even some individual members of the board, have been unfairly vilified and bullied by those who believe that they know better and who believe that they are the fountains of wisdom concerning this decision. And if the board doesn't carry on in the manner they want, then the board is a bunch of fools. This bullying has come both from within and outside of Mott, and it has damaged the search process through false rumors and unjust mischaracterizations. I would like to speak to just one example of this. On October 7th, 2024, the board reversed its prior decision as to how to conduct the search, and it decided to go forward with a national search for a permanent president utilizing a nationally recognized search firm within parameters acceptable to the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation and its offer of a grant for that purpose. Following this decision, I, as chair, spoke with President Regway White of the foundation on October 15th, 2024, for the purpose of advising him of the steps that the board needed to take in order to move its decision forward concerning the grant. I memorialized that conversation in a letter dated October 24th, 2024. Unknown to me, and certainly not authorized by me, sometime after the board's decision on October 7th, 2024, a so-called letter of acceptance was prepared by at least 2 Mont staffers. I was not part of this process, even though supposedly the letter was to be signed by me. This rogue letter was totally inappropriate and unacceptable. It clearly circumvented the process
Point of order.
that had been put in place by the board. The ad hoc committee of the board has been tasked with overseeing the permanent
Mr. Everman,
presidential search
Mr. Everman,
process.
A point of order has been made. Stay where you are, and we'll pick up.
I can't hear you, Bill.
A point of order has been requested, so stay where you are until the point of order is addressed.
Vote on just simply moving ahead with limiting a change in the amendment or a change in the agenda after the agenda has been approved requires a 2/3 vote of this board. Okay, there's been no such change. This is a de facto change in the agenda, and the board has not voted on it. As far as this goes forward, the board needs to vote whether or not they're going to allow the change to the agenda for comments to take place at this point in the agenda. You can't just move it around any place you see fit, anytime you see fit. There is a change that it's a process, and we need to follow the process.
So what he's indicating is that the board had previously voted to approve, to adopt the agenda. The agenda included communications and comments from the public. Do I understand your statement, Trustee Daly, to state that comments from the public had actually ended and it was ready to move on to unfinished business? Okay. And if in fact that's the case, then this would be a change to the agenda. You'll have to ask Jordan or the secretary whether or not we had concluded the comments from the public.
I did state that public comments concluded.
Jordan, had the chair indicated that we was going to start unfinished business as of yet?
To my recollection, he did not state it was concluded. I stated myself that public comments that I had concluded.
Does that answer your questions regarding your point of order?
That does not answer my question. I think we had concluded the public comment at that time.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Trustee Reyes has his hands
Yes.
up.
Mr. Reyes?
When the chair reads the requirements for comments of the public, they are required to be submitted to Jordan prior to the meeting started. So what the trustee is doing is trustee comments, which are not on the agenda. But he's not speaking as a member of the public, he's speaking as a trustee. And he did not submit his, to my knowledge, so we'd have to ask Jordan, but his remarks were not properly pre-turned in.
What? Oh,
To answer,
okay.
to answer Trustee Reyes, I did not receive anything from Trustee, or Chair Everman for his comments. However, in past meetings, I have received public comments from individuals as public comment has taken place. Did you receive these? I did not, I don't have any documentation from Chair Everman.
Madam Chair, can we just proceed with the meeting agenda? Because obviously,
Just a moment.
can we please proceed? This is not helpful.
Whether the public comment has ended or not, whether he's followed the proper procedures. If it's ended and he hasn't followed the procedure, you should stop him and get back to the meeting. You need to make the call as to whether or not he can continue.
Yes. I say no. We'll finish, or we will finish the comment and you come back to the meeting.
So continue to read?
No,
No, I can't read?
no.
I can't, or I can?
She said no.
So I cannot read this further?
Correct.
Okay. Unfinished business. Item 2.49, amendment to Board Policy 1631. Do we have a motion to approve the second reading of item 2.49?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Trustee Reyes.
I agree with the concept of the consent agenda. However, I believe that it should be placed after the comments from the public, because we have had instances where something that was in the minutes has been brought to us by a member of the public during their comments. So I believe that the public comments should come before the consent agenda. So I'd like to make an amendment to the motion that the consent agenda be after the comments from the public.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor with the change approving 1631, item 2.49, roll call vote. Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Trustee Freeman?
Yes.
Trustee Couch?
No.
Trustee Swanson?
Yes.
Trustee Walcott?
Yes.
Trustee Daly? And Trustee Overman, yes. The change has been changed. Item 2.50. Yes.
Please clarify whether that was on the motion to amend,
Yes.
change the item, or whether it was.
Yes, it's to change it to after comments from the public. So 4 would go where 6 is at.
So now you want to make a motion to approve
Do I need to withdraw my motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's changed? Okay. So we've completed this task?
We have to have that motion and approve the amended policy.
Okay. A motion to approve the amended policy?
So moved.
No, we already have a motion on the floor.
It's to amend it.
No. The amendment has been approved. Now we have to vote on the main motion.
So the main motion.
Right.
Okay.
Which is to include the consent agenda and the other changes at the end of the agenda.
Thank
that
you
were
very
highlighted
much.
in red.
Okay.
That's what I moved.
What?
I moved approval on that.
Okay.
We already have that. We already have
So
that.
we do another roll call vote. So Art,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Passes. 2.50. Is there a motion to move forward to 2.50 with the second reading?
So moved.
A motion to, is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Trustee Freeman?
Yes.
Trustee Couch?
Yes.
Trustee Swanson?
Yes.
Trustee Alcott?
Yes.
Trustee Daly?
Yes.
And myself, yes. 2.50 has passed. 2.51.
Move approval.
Pardon?
Move approval.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second?
We have a second. Any discussion? Trustee Reyes?
I believe that the board already has a way for trustees' ideas to come to the board as a whole, and that's through our committee structure. If I have an idea that involves the finance, I can get a hold of the finance committee, or personnel, I can get a hold of the personnel committee, ask them to take a look at it. If it passes committee, then it comes to the board. I don't feel that every idea that is just generated because we're trustees should take up agenda time. So I'm speaking in objection to the motion.
Are there any other comments? There is a document that I've sent to you, each of you right now, from February 10th of 2020, when the chair at that time was Chair Freeman. That was when things were trying to be placed on the agenda as it related to the Ballinger Lecture Series as well as the Family Life Center. There was never the ability to place this on the agenda. Both the then president and the then chair of the board never allowed this to move forward. Therefore, the opportunity for trustees to submit things and allow them to be moved forward needs to be there.
Mr. Chair, you just accused me of not moving things onto an agenda that never, if the board had requested it to be put on the agenda, it would have been. You as an individual can't put stuff on, but you also never contacted me once to have anything put on the agenda. You don't even take my phone calls. So please don't misinform the public. That is not the case. Had the board wanted anything put on the agenda when I was board chair, I absolutely would have done it, because that's my job.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. That was submitted through Michael Simon to you, and you never followed through. Also, we have another trustee, Couch, that has called your office, and you were going to get back with her in 10 minutes. Those 10-minute time is still ticking since you were the chair of the board.
No, the chair actually, when Sue Couch was here, was Ann Figueroa was chair. I was not chair. I was
That's
treasurer. I was
not
treasurer.
true.
No, it is true.
Point of order.
You were given a call from...
So true.
Point of order.
Excuse me. This is a trustee meeting, not for people
Point
in the
of order.
gallery. Any further discussion
Point
on
of order.
2.51? Any further discussion?
Point of order.
Yes.
Thank you for recognizing me. Point of order takes precedence over all business being done by the board at the time it's made. The discussion that was ongoing that continued after I made the point of order had nothing to do with the order of business of this board.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, roll call vote on item 2.51. Trustee Reyes.
No.
Trustee Freeman.
No.
Trustee Couch.
Yes.
Trustee Swanson.
Yes.
Trustee Walcott.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
No.
And Trustee Everman is yes. The change has been made 2.51. New business, item 2.59. Trustee Couch, do you have a motion that you are bringing forward to the board?
Mr. Chair, I move that the board offer the position of permanent president of Mott Community College to interim president Shonda Richardson Snell on terms that this board shall determine and may be agreed to by the parties following appropriate contract negotiations and consultant with counsel.
Thank you. Is there a second for this motion?
I'll second it.
You have a second. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Reyes.
Yes, we have now put in place a couple of different processes that we were going to use to select a chair, a president. And tonight on the agenda prior to the meeting was following up on the things that were decided at previous meetings so that we could actually get moving with our search. A search has not been done, and I don't feel that it does the college or the community any good for this board to circumvent the process that we have laid out. We need to follow the process and do our nationwide search and then take our votes at that time.
Thank you. Mr. Freeman, I saw your hand up second.
As I said earlier in the meeting, we actually have an approved, actually it was October 8th, it wasn't October 7th, when we decided by a majority vote of this board that we would actually do a nationwide search with the assistance of a firm. So we already have an approved process that is fair, open, and transparent, that would have public interviews of candidates. You could really, and right now it's like I haven't really even heard from the interim president that she was intending on applying for this position, in which she would be more than welcome to apply for that position. And I'm sure professionally, as a professional, you would want to, be chosen because you were the best candidate. This feels like not a terribly open and transparent process, and that I'm sure you would want to have us make that determination because you are the most qualified candidate, and not circumvent a process which has already been approved. So I go back to this point of how can we do this, which then kind of negates a motion which was already approved by this body, right? So essentially, unless someone were to, revise their motion, which that is now what's on the table right now. We have an entirely new motion, but it does totally go against what has already been approved by the majority of this board.
John, I saw your hand up third.
When this was added to the agenda, I seconded this motion to get it to this stage of where it could be discussed in front of the board. The board made a decision on October 7th about the process and strategy we were going to use. That was agreed to by a majority of the board members. That is the process. The deal is that when the board makes a decision, it is incumbent upon all the board members to support that decision, period. If you don't like it, then find some other place to work besides this board. but that decision was made by the board to make a broader search, one that encompassed both input from the key stakeholders in the community and faculty and administration as well. So I'm going to vote against this in the actual process because I am a strong believer, those of you that know me cringe at this sometimes, but I am a strong believer in process. And this completely circumvents the process that was done, accomplished by the board on October 7th, and we need to stop this internal civil war that's going on inside the board. This is done.
Thank you very much. Jeff, I saw your name.
I thought we were going to have the attorney weigh in on this also.
Be glad to. All right. Before I weigh into it, I wanted to clarify with Trustee Couch a little bit about this. First of all, Trustee Couch, was it your intention that if this motion were to pass, that the previous actions by the board to hire a search firm would cease and desist, that there would be no need for a search firm?
Yeah, I feel that there'll be no need for a search.
Okay. So, because I just want to clarify with respect to the scope of what this motion is. All right. So I want to go to Michael's question that he asked previously. So Robert's Rules of Order, actually Robert's Rules of Order number 37 does provide the process for making a motion to rescind. Now it's not actually stated here, but if trustee's intention, Couch's intention is that this would basically wipe out the remaining aspects of the presidential search process, first of all, from a legal standpoint, that should be part of the motion. Because otherwise the search process will continue. The search firm, you've approved the hiring of a search firm, so you would, I believe that you would have to amend your motion. But under Robert's Rules of Order, your specific question, Michael, was does it have to be brought by the same person? And while there is some confusion within a lot of the forums discussing Robert's Rules of Order, Robert's Rules of Order does not specifically provide that. And if you think it through, quite frankly, if a trustee were to make a motion, it were to pass, and that trustee were to resign or later die, and it became apparent that that motion needed to be rescinded for some reason or another, it would be impossible under that scenario ever to rescind an action of a trustee. But nevertheless, that issue aside, the rules does indicate that it has to be a motion to rescind or to change it has to be a standalone motion, and it has to be voted on by either 2/3 of the subcommittee or a full majority of the full board, if this is done at a subsequent meeting. So there has to, and the other issue that I'm concerned about with respect to the motion, again, from a legal standpoint, is that the motion included the term permanent. The Michigan Community College Act limits the length of term of an employee of a community college chief executive officer to 5 years. From a legal standpoint, I'm always uncomfortable about making suggestions of hiring somebody without prior negotiations with respect to the terms, specific terms. And so we've had that discussion, I know, amongst the various board members in private and in our discussions up to the hiring of the interim president. And I will, if you want me to go in further detail about those discussions, I will be glad to do so, but I'll leave it at that. And I hope, if I answered your question, Michael. If not, let me know.
Wendy, Art, did you have a question? Because everybody has to go first. He's already spoken. Okay. Art?
Yes, I believe a motion to rescind doesn't have to come from the person who made the original motion, but it does have to come from somebody who voted in the majority on that.
Again, there's nothing in Robert's Rules of Order which makes that indication. Again, I will acknowledge that if you go to the Robert's Rules of Order's forums, there is discussion, and oftentimes people say that, but the Robert's Rules of Orders actually do not, and I'm referring to Robert's Rules of Order number 37.
This board has actually abided by that because I'm the one that made a motion to rescind at the meeting that we had in Lapeer. But because I voted in the minority, it was ruled out of order. So then someone who was in the majority, and that was to go into closed session. So past practice of this board has been that a member who voted in the majority has to be the one that makes a motion to rescind. And it should be done in two motions. The first motion should be to rescind the action, the specific action, and it needs to be outlined exactly what is being asked to rescind. And then if it is rescinded, a second motion is then used to follow up for what that individual desires to be done.
You are correct. The Robert's Rules of Order does require a motion to rescind to be a separate standalone motion in and of itself with no other business included within it.
Any further comments?
Point of order. Based on the conversations that we've just had, it is my belief that the motion as put forth by Trustee Couch is out of order.
Point of order. If this motion were to pass, Council, if this motion were to pass, items 2.58A and B would be put on hold or tabled until we find out what contract negotiations ended up as?
No.
They would be gone?
No.
What would happen?
There has to be a motion to rescind the prior action of the board to remove those items. Otherwise, the board has been authorized to retain the services of search firm as voted on at the October meeting. And so until there is a motion, as Trustee Reyes indicated, until there is a motion to rescind those previous actions, you could make this motion, but you still are going through with the search process.
Okay. So that would have to happen after this motion is voted on.
Well, logically, you'd think it would happen prior to the motion, or you could have it afterwards, but one or the other is going to have to be there. But that's the motion to rescind. Again, when Trustee Couch made the request to amend the agenda, her request was very broad. It said hiring a permanent president. It didn't specify exactly what exactly she was talking about. And when she made her motion, she then made it specifically with respect to hiring a specific person as president. It seems to me that she intends, as part of this motion, to include a rescission of that prior decision, but that has not been made part of her motion, nor has been made a motion by anybody else.
So could she add that to her motion at this point?
It has to be a separate motion.
Okay. So we have the motion on the floor. Trustee Freeman.
Well, I get back to when I made my initial point when we were setting the agenda for tonight. That's why I said that this is contrary to what we already had approved. So, you know, at this point then, to rescind, is that on the agenda? No. I think this is a poorly executed or attempt at forcing a different outcome. As was stated, the civil war, trying to encourage the civil war within the board. It really should have been thought about. We had something that we approved, the majority approved that, and now the game is trying to be changed at the last minute without going through the proper format. I guess whoever thought of putting this motion out there, adding this to the agenda, probably should have thought about the pre-existing approved motion, which already took place before the attempt to put this on, because right now, no one suggested rescinding the previous motion that was approved.
Okay. Any further comments? So, we're going to do a roll call vote, but...
Point of order.
Yes.
The
Trustee
motion
Reyes.
that has been made and seconded is out of order because a motion to rescind was not done first. A standalone motion to rescind must be done in order for this motion to come into play. It is out of order.
Okay. Bill, do we have to do it first and then do this?
It all, so, again, the motion does not provide specificity with respect to the terms or length of the agreement. Again, the phrase that put in the motion, permanent, taken in its logical meaning, could be illegal under the Michigan Community College Act, because the Michigan Community College Act limits the term of employment to no greater than 5 years. If the term was 6 months, if the term was 3 months, I don't know what is meant by the term. If the term was supposed to be something else, then yes, you could continue with your search for somebody after that period of time. I don't know what the term is. And without some prior discussion about what is meant by the terms of the condition, it is difficult for me to give any legal opinion with respect to answering this question, because there has been no distinction, no definition of what types of terms are envisioned by this and whether you would actually need to stop the process. So until that clarification is made, I can't answer that question for you.
Okay, the board is in recess for 5 minutes while discussion takes place with the trustees.
I object to a recess. If someone objects, you have to now roll call vote the taking of recess.
Right, and if conversation is going to take place amongst
It
the
needs to take place
trustees,
between the attorney and the person making the motion. so
his
that
job
they
is to
understand.
counsel the board, not individual members.
Okay, is that correct, Bill?
I represent the board, and I work through the chairperson to work with the board members on the legal issues that come to the board.
Okay, I need some help with that.
That means I take direction from you with respect to specifically what types of tasks you would like me to encounter, or direction from the board as a whole as to what types of tasks they would like me to take on.
Okay. I'm going to place the meeting at recess, and I'm going to talk.
I objected. You have to do roll call vote to pull us into recess.
Okay. Roll call vote for recess. Trustee Reyes.
No.
Trustee Freeman.
No.
Trustee Couch.
Yes.
Trustee Swanson.
Yes.
Trustee Walcott.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
No.
Trustee Everman is yes. We are in recess for 5 minutes. Meeting's reconvened. So, Bill, we're reconvene the meeting. Are there any other comments? So would you like to rescind your motion?
Yes, I'd like to rescind my motion.
Okay. So we have a motion that's rescinded.
Point of order? No.
Point of order, Trustee Daly?
You can rescind the motion if it hasn't, if its motion has been made, but the motion has been made and seconded for this body to deal with it.
Motion's been made, and Jeff, did you second that motion?
Mm-hmm.
So it had been second, and now she wants to rescind her motion.
Can't rescind it. The vote, it's up for a vote.
Up for a vote.
It's up for a vote, so it has to be voted on. You're asking a question, and you might want to need to direct that to the attorney. Turn your microphone on.
Trustee Reyes says that it's illegal motion, correct? Then, all right, has the chair ruled on that?
Just a minute, let me get some help. My ruling is, if you use the words permanent, it would be an illegal motion. If you say for 3 years, then it would be a legal motion. But you didn't say that. So if you want to rescind that motion and remake a motion, you can. But right now, I rule that it's an illegal motion as it stands. Mrs. Couch,
Yes,
would you like to restate your motion?
I would like to restate my motion.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
I recognized her.
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
You're overruling the chair.
No, I
Okay.
appeal the ruling of the chair.
You appeal the ruling of the chair. So there's an appeal of the ruling of the chair, and Mr. Daly thinks that it's an okay motion and everything's fine. And my ruling is that it's not, and she's allowing her to rescind the motion. So a roll call vote. Trustee Reyes,
Yeah, what are we voting on?
we're voting on overruling the chair. I have told Mrs. Couch that it's an illegal motion. You had suggested that to me.
No, I understand. So we're voting, a vote in the affirmative overrules the chair, a vote in the negative
Please explain that.
sustains the chair. Okay. No.
Okay, we've got a no. Trustee Freeman.
No.
Trustee Couch.
Yes,
Yes. Trustee Swanson.
I'm extremely confused here.
Okay, and before you vote, have the attorney help you and explain that. So, would you explain that? So
Are we on
which-
Trustee
which-
Daly's motion?
Yeah, because I ruled that it was an illegal motion. He's challenging the chair because I've said it's an illegal motion. It's an illegal
Okay, all
motion
right,
because
we're
she
good.
said permanent, and that would mean forever and ever, and that you cannot do. But Trustee Daly wants to think that that's okay, so that's what he's having you vote on.
I vote no.
Trustee Alcott,
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
Yes.
And
Wait.
my vote,
Wait.
and I'm voting
Yes.
yes. Did I get you,
This is-
Trustee Couch?
No, you didn't. I vote yes.
And I vote yes. So I want to make sure that somebody didn't vote twice. Daly, did we get your vote? Or you voted no?
Can you restate the motion and then do a recall?
Okay.
Roll call.
I ruled that the motion, as it's stated, is illegal because Trustee Couch said permanent. And permanent means that she would be president forever and ever and ever. Daly challenged my ruling. So in challenging my ruling, if we vote yes, we agree with Mr. Daly that I'm wrong, is that correct? I need help here because this is confusing to me also.
So maybe you just make it better, easier to say, if you think it's illegal, say yes. If you think it's not illegal, say no, and make that the motion.
Okay. So say that again. Yes, it's illegal.
If you think it's illegal, say yes. If you think it's no, if it's not illegal, say no.
Okay. Yes is illegal. No, it's not. Okay. So, Trustee Reyes,
Yes.
Trustee Freeman,
Yes.
Trustee Couch. We can move forward with that. Or we can rescind what the board has done so far and then move to your motion. So would you like to, what would you like your motion to be?
I'd like to make a motion that I move that the board offer the position of, for 3 years, the president of Mott Community College to interim President Shonda Richardson Snell on terms that this board shall determine and may be agreed to by the parties following appropriate contract negotiations and consultant with counsel.
Okay. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
We've got a second.
Point of order.
Yes.
A motion to rescind still has not been made. So this action, we can't have two actions counter to each other without rescinding the motion first. The order of operation is very simple.
Okay. Bill, do
A
we need
motion
that
to rescind is
first?
done. If that passes, then a replacement motion is then put in place.
You could do it that way if you wish. So let me provide a scenario here, whereas the motion to rescind may not necessarily be required. The motion was contingent upon successful negotiations of a contract within the terms of 3 years. If there is no successful negotiation of a new contract, then the presidential search would continue. So that the possibility exists that the presidential search would continue utilizing the methods utilized by the vote in October.
Yes, Trustee Reyes.
Okay. I still say this is backward because the motion is to offer her the job for a term of 3 years, period. I mean, all the other language is in there to satisfy whatever. But the gist of this motion is to offer her the presidency for a term of 3 years, contingent upon blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now, I still say that if that is voted in the affirmative, then we have not established what a timeline would be in order to successfully negotiate. So negotiations could continue for the next year before a presidential search would continue. There's no timelines in it. That's the reason that I'm saying that if this is something that Trustee Couch wants to have done, her proper motion would have been to rescind. Then the table's clear. Then it's a completely clear table, and then processes can be done to replace that. But the way that we're doing it now is only going to cause more confusion to my fellow trustees, because this is just not, it's a very simple matter. It's a very simple matter. But this is just causing more confusion, and it is artificially prolonging a meeting that we should be about through.
Trustee Daly.
I agree completely with Trustee Reyes's comments about artificially prolonging the meeting. This decision, I have been involved, while I've not been involved directly in the search for a college president, I have been involved in the search for, by my last count, it was at least 5 CEOs of other organizations I was in. This is not the way it's done. Okay, you first find the candidate, you then reach a framework, and then you start discussing the hardcore items of what the final salary is going to be, what the moving skills are going to be. You've got the cart before the horse. You're setting the stage for a very difficult time if you're going to follow this process. We need to stay with the process that we passed on the, I think it was December 7th or 8th, October 7th or 8th. Whatever day it was. We need to stay with that process. That was the board's decision. That was a good decision, and there is no reason to back away from it. There is nothing that has changed since that vote was taken. Nothing.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Roll call vote. Are you the one that rereads the motion, or is it Jordan? Which one of you does it? She does. You do it. Reread the motion, please.
The motion before the board is, I move that the board offer the position of president of Mott Community College to interim president Shonda Richardson Snell for a period of 3 years on terms that this board shall determine as may be agreed to by the parties following appropriate contract negotiation and consultation with counsel.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote. Trustee Reyes.
No.
Trustee Freeman.
No.
Trustee Couch.
Yes.
Trustee Swanson.
You know, I've been approached by faculty members who love what the interim president is doing. I've talked to people in public that want this to happen. However, it's not I'm not in agreement with using a search firm. I've made that clear. I wasn't in agreement with Mr. White to accept the money. I thought it was inappropriate, but I just cannot saddle Shonda with this the way it's going. So I'm going to vote no.
Trustee Wendy.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
No.
I have a question. My question would be, would she even take the job? I'm not asking it. I'm not asking
No
this. I'm thinking
commentary.
out loud. Just like
The
Jeff had
vote's
a
in
comment.
process. Oh, my God.
Just like Jeff had the comment, I made my comment.
This is ridiculous. This is a travesty, sir. This is a travesty. You know exactly what you're trying to do. It is not in the best
Point of
interest
order.
of the college.
Point of order. What's your point of order?
You have not voted.
I haven't. I was waiting for trustee Daly
No,
to
you
calm down.
started to ask a question. You have to record your vote and then the results of the vote.
No different than what trustee Swanson did. I now vote yes. The motion failed, 4-3. Item 2.52, Treasurer's Report for October 2024 for action. Yes.
I move we receive the treasurer's report.
You move what?
I move we receive the treasurer's report.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the Treasurer's
Give me a
Report.
second.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The Treasurer's Report is passed. Item 2.53, Construction Manager at Risk, Paral College Center Purchase Award, 2.53.
So moved.
Do we have a
Mr. Chair.
second? Do we have a second?
Mr. Chair, no.
No?
I request that this be tabled until we can get a more definitive, the board can get a more definitive briefing on what the future of that building's going to be.
Okay. So, Rod, would you please come forward?
Yeah, we rescinded.
Chair, President, Board.
We have some questions from one of our trustees about the Paral building, and you can direct your questions to Rod through the chair.
Well, my questions through the chair to you is what's the plan for the long-term use of that building? Say over the next 10 years.
Rod, you might need Larry and Jason to also
I think,
help
yes,
with this.
Jason would probably be better to answer that question.
Thank you. Through the chair, Dr. Daly, the Paral Center is becoming the innovation hub of the college. The highest level, the second level of the college will house a combination of IT programs and an AI lab. The IT programs there will be cybersecurity, and we'll also have an opportunity to help the community with computer repairs and such for students in the community. So giving the network students some real world experience in that. The main level will turn into a more modern version of our student services enrollment hub, if you will. And then the lower level will be more of a careers hub. So that really anchors the usage of the building.
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
Through the chair, Mr. Daly. Through the chair.
Fine. Do I have to turn the seat?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, good. That's good. Wait a minute. Sorry about this, Jason.
That's all right.
That good enough? That good enough? Yes or no?
I'm sorry. Please use your microphone.
That good enough? Yes or no?
I can't hear you.
Then get your hearing aid on.
If you have a question, Mr. Daly, let's move forward with it.
Do I have to give it to you?
Through the chair.
Okay. I'd like to know what the current use of the building is.
Current use of the building.
The building is currently our student services hub. It houses all of our primary student services offices, financial aid, advising, admissions. It also is occupied by our workforce and development area on the lower level, corporate services, and student employment.
Thank you. Any further questions?
It houses the bookstore as well.
Bookstore as well. It's like
That
a
answers
pop
my
quiz.
question. Can I turn around and thank him for giving me the report?
Trustee Daly thanks you. You can thank
I'll
him.
speak for myself. Thank you very much, Jason. Don't do that again.
Thank you, Rod. Or what?
Don't do that again.
Or what? Or what will you do?
Point of order.
Or
We'll
what
have
will
real
you
war.
do?
Point of order.
Don't make a threat you can't live up to.
That's right. You are absolutely right.
Item 2.53, construction management. We have a motion?
So moved.
We have- Any further questions?
I think
We have a second.
Trustee Freeman made the original motion.
I just have a question.
You've got a question. We've got a
Second.
motion, we've got a second. You got a question?
Yes. Looking at the vendors, we're being recommended at Clark.
That is the
Get the
college's
award.
recommendation, correct?
Okay, and they're out of Lansing.
They have multiple locations, but yes, they do have one in Lansing.
Do they have one in Flint?
They do not.
Okay, Source and Gross is a local company. Is there a reason why we're not using them and they're $100,000 cheaper?
Sorensen Gross is partnering with Lurby, if you'll see that on there, so they are not
Okay.
doing it by themselves. So the two firms are trying to join together to do the job. There's been some complications with that.
Okay.
Legal-wise, if something were to go wrong after the construction okay.
All right.
Sorry, one other thing, very important thing. This is a DTMB project, so through the state of Michigan, there's a tremendous amount of reporting that has to be done to the state to keep this on track, and they are limited in that capacity. Clark and the other one, they've done a tremendous amount of these projects.
Any further questions? Roll call vote. Item 2.53. Trustee Reyes.
Yes.
Trustee Freeman.
Yes.
Trustee Swanson.
Yes.
Trustee Couch. Not here. Trustee Wendy.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
Yes.
And I vote yes. 2.53 is passed. 2.54, Extension Site Custodial Services.
Move for approval?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 2.54 is passed. 2.55,
So moved?
do we have a second?
Second.
Do we need to have a report from John? Christie? Christie Dolly?
I don't think they're asking for one.
In case we have any questions. John? Yeah, in case there's any legal questions, could you please come forward?
Would you like me to explain what the purpose of this is?
Yes.
Okay. Entities nationwide started joining a nationwide lawsuit against various insulin manufacturers, pharmacy benefit managers, and other defendants accused of artificially inflating insulin prices at the expense of employers and health plan entities, including insurance pools. The college's staff plan for their medical insurance is an insurance pool through the West Michigan Health Insurance Pool. Troon is the law firm that represents the West Michigan Health Insurance Pool, and they have referred clients to France. And France is the law firm that is taking on the insulin manufacturers and pharmacy benefit managers. They're a law firm out of California, and they specialize in mass litigation. There is no cost to the college for joining this. Both the pool as a whole is joining the litigation, and the attorneys are recommending that individual entities also join in case throughout the litigation process, anyone deems that, you know, the pool isn't the individual entity, so they're throwing them out, or the individual entity isn't the one that paid the claim, so they're throwing them out. So we would be covered as a whole. As I mentioned, there's no cost to the college. However, if there is a financial recovery, the law firm retains 30% of that. If there's no financial recovery, there's nothing that the college owes.
Thank you. John, do you have any further?
Just to add the specialization, as stated by Christy, the specialization of the need is why the expertise of the firm is being utilized. No cost to the college, obviously, is a key. Recovery to the college would benefit the college. If there's no recovery, there's no cost, no exposure to the college. So the specialization of the law firm was what led to us joining the class action suit.
Okay. The board attorney, do you have any input into this?
No, and I'd further add that generally, especially in federal court, class action lawsuits, the attorney fees are generally have to be approved by the court. So and oftentimes the attorney fees are actually less than a third or 30%, depending on the nature of the recovery and the amount of the actual work that was performed. So that could change depending on the ruling of a federal court if there's a recovery. But as Attorney Godola indicated, there's a specialization that goes along with this that you want to jump on here.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the trustees? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. 2.56, Network Switch Replacement Award for
So
action.
moved.
Support.
Any questions? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 2.57, Energy Savings Account Resolution. Is there a motion to move forward with this?
So moved.
Second.
Have any further discussion? Yes, John?
I continue to have my reservations about establishing revenue-restricted accounts for things like this, especially where it's binding it over a long-term process. You're creating, although this one is small, you start a process and they are difficult to maintain. Sometimes you wind up spending a great deal more on administration of those accounts than they generate. And you certainly tie the hands of future boards to do anything with that money other than what it was used, what it was programmed for originally. So and I'm reluctant to approve anything that's a forever deal, so.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
No.
Nay.
We have one nay, two nays, and 4 yeas. Motion passed. 2.58, Permanent Presidential Search Ad Hoc Committee pending matters. Consider letter to the CS Mott Foundation regarding proposal grant for action. In connection with the grant offer from the CS Mott Foundation, the board to determine whether a formal letter of acceptance should be referred to the board attorney, William Brickley, and MCC Counsel, John Godola, for the drafting and subsequent consideration by the board. That was the recommendation of the ad hoc committee. What is the motion of the board to go forward with this?
Absolutely. Also move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Yes, Mr. Freeman.
So, as I've stated before, we approved moving forward with this with the assumption that it would be an expeditious action, that the board had already authorized to accept the funding from the Mott Foundation, submit the requisite request as required, and ask for that. I'm really wondering why we're in the middle of November and nothing was done. And so this is almost like we're dragging our feet, and I feel like it's like, are we running out the clock? And I think that a lot of people have asked me in the community, is it done? Did you submit it? And I know that the Mott Foundation has timelines that they're trying to meet. I don't understand why this is like a duplicative effort, whether or not it's the attorneys drafting a letter or the administration drafting the letter or the board chair. It actually comes from the board of trustees, right? This should be the board of trustees is thanking the Mott Foundation for their request or for the request we have. It should have been done. So I don't know why this is taking so long.
Any other comments? Trustee Daly.
I say I have the same concerns about the long interval that this has taken to do, and I don't understand why, as a matter of routine, this wasn't handled just like any other grant that we get from somewhere else. I can't recall in just the 4 years I've been here where we've been asked to approve a letter of thanks for giving us a grant, particularly one that was unsolicited. And I want to express my thanks, take this opportunity to express my thanks to both the Mott Foundation and to Ridgway White for the steps that they took, because they ensured that this search would be a good search, would be a quality search. So we need to get this out. This letter should have gone out a long time ago. And I can think of no reason why it hasn't. My recommendation is that should be out and in tomorrow's mail. My real question is, who's going to sign the letter?
Trustee Swanson.
It was my understanding, Bill, that there was a problem with the letter. It went against some motions. Is that?
The letter, first of all, I believe that there was a letter sent by the chairperson following the motion indicating an acknowledgement of the gift and also indicating that the board had voted in approval of accepting the gift. From what I understand, there was a letter that was drafted within the administration that made some promises with respect to what the search would entail and how the search would be conducted, which I believe, which in my opinion went beyond what the board had voted on. So that was my legal opinion, and is my legal opinion today. I'm not, if I haven't answered your question, let me know, but that's the way I read it.
Yes, Mr. Freeman.
Then if there's a issue with that, then follow the motion and submit the thank you and acknowledgement of the grant and send that in. But why did it take a month and a half to come up with something that's pretty? If you felt that whatever was written within the administration was too much, then just write what the motion said and send that to the Mott Foundation, and I'm sure that would be adequate.
Trustee Swanson.
I thought the issue was that there was a letter drafted that went against the motions. I wasn't at that meeting, so I don't know. But was there stipulations put on how that money with the search firm? That's what I want to know. Was there any? I haven't seen the letter. Oh.
Trustee Walcott, you're going to have to chair the meeting,
Okay.
because I'm going to now read the letter that gives full explanation of what has happened.
I heard a so moved, but there is no motion. What it says in the agenda is it's in connection with the grant offer from CS Mott Foundation. The board to determine whether a formal letter of acceptance should be referred to the board attorney, William Brickley, and MCC attorney, John Godola, for the drafting and subsequent consideration by the board. So I don't know if they move to make that referral, or if they removed, yes, we want a letter of acceptance. So I'm just suggesting that the so moved be clarified by the movant, who I have as Trustee Daly.
Yeah, go ahead. I yield the floor to Trustee Freeman.
At this point in time, I think the direction is that we submit the letter ASAP, whether or not it's been, it is drafted by the attorney
Point
or
of
the
order, Mr. Chair.
administration.
Madam Chair, I had requested the floor, and you had given it to me, and now I'm being
I still have
overrode
the floor,
or
didn't
talked
I?
over.
Didn't I have the floor?
Mr. Freeman, he did request first, so let's let him go.
As I read this letter, it explains everything that has happened so far. And 2 members of this board serve on the ad hoc committee, and both of you know that you have been ill and have not been able to attend meetings. And so I haven't been able to have meetings as it relates to the letter and what the ad hoc committee is required to do. So, as is well known by all of you, the Mott Board of Trustees is engaged in the process of selecting a new permanent president. This is one of the key responsibilities of an elected Board of Trustees to a community college. During this process, excuse me, sirs, point of order. Point of order, Madam Chair.
Point of
I've been talked
information.
over by these people.
Mr. Freeman, let him finish, please.
Point of
Continue.
information.
John.
Are we going to get
The
a copy?
board
are we gonna get-
collectively, and
Point
even
of-
some individual members of the board, have been unfairly vilified
Mr.
and bullied by those who believe that they know better and who believe that they are the fountains of wisdom concerning the decision. And if the board doesn't carry on in the manner that they want, then the board is a bunch of fools.
Mr. Everman, could you
This bully
give
has
a word
come-
in edgewise? I've been recognized on a point of information that has second priority, and it takes the floor
This
from
will,
you.
Madam Chair?
I have been.
Trustee Everman, 1 second.
Are we going to get copies of that letter that Mr. Everman is reading?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Everman.
The bullying has come from both within and outside of Mott, and it has damaged the search process through false rumors and unjust mischaracterizations. I would like to speak to just one example of this. On October 7th, 2024, the board revised its prior decision as to how to conduct the search, and it decided to go forward with the national search and a permanent president, utilizing a national recognized search firm within parameters acceptable to the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation and its offer of a grant for that purpose. Following this decision, I, as chair, spoke with President Regway White of the foundation on October 15th, 2024, for the purpose of advising him of the steps that the board needed to take in order to move its decision forward concerning the grant. I memorialized that conversation in a letter dated October 24th, 2024. Unknown to me, and certainly not authorized by me, sometime after the board's decision of October 7, 2024, a so-called letter of acceptance was prepared by at least 2 Mott staffers. I was not part of this process, even though supposedly the letter was to be signed by me. The rogue letter was totally inappropriate and unacceptable. It clearly was circumventing the process that had been put in place by the board. The ad hoc committee of the board has been tasked with overseeing the permanent presidential search process from start to finish, except to those matters that require approval of the full board. Certainly, any letter of acceptance concerning the terms of the foundation's grant would need to be reviewed by the board's attorney and come before the board for approval. Nevertheless, employees of Mott took it upon themselves to prepare the letter without authorization by either the ad hoc committee or me. The existence of this draft letter was apparently also known by other individuals, including at least one board trustee. Soon the existence of this unauthorized, unofficial letter became part of the public conversation, as in, quote, "Why is the board dragging its feet?" Close quote. Quote, "Why has the chair refused to sign this letter?" Close quote. And similar unwanted accusations. For the record, the chair, along with the ad hoc committee, have been following the process established by the board for the presidential search. Demand has been made that this letter be produced to the public, but this rogue letter should never have been drafted in the first place, as it certainly should not have been made part of the public conversation. The board has had to deal with this type of shenanigans practically since its inception of the current board. The denigration and sabotage of its authority, and most recently, the circumvention of the agreed-to process for the presidential search is totally unacceptable and inappropriate. As the chairperson of this board, I have done and I will continue to do whatever I can to continue the process as it was laid out in the motion by Trustee Swanson. I would like to have my statement entered into the official minutes, and I would also like to have it placed on the college website so the rest of the college community knows what we have been trying to do and what we have had as problems to get it finished.
Say that again, John. Trustee Everman, is that letter a draft?
It's my letter.
That's not what I asked.
Jordan.
Is that letter a draft?
Yes.
Yes or no?
He said yes.
Okay, thank you. So it has not been sent. Is that correct?
Point of information.
Trustee Reyes.
Does the inclusion of the letter as read to be included in the minutes and posted require action by the board? I'm asking the chair.
I need to ask counsel on this one.
If I There needs, no, there, just that it shouldn't be sent.
Yes, I believe it should be brought to the board.
Point of clarification. You confirmed for Trustee Daly that copies would be given to the board of this language.
Yes.
Would this being submitted to the unofficial minutes, and if it's approved for on the website, would that be sufficient enough for you, or would you still like physical copies of it?
I like physical copies if it's okay to talk with him. Yes, myself personally, I'd like physical copies.
Okay, I'll make physical copies.
Okay, so we are going to, bear with me here. So we are going to, who wants?
The motion's been made, it's been seconded, there's discussion, so you just want to call the motion.
So we're going to call the motion that Mr. Everman's letter be submitted for the website. Did I say it wrong?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Madam Chair, this letter at this point is draft and nothing more. It represents the opinion of one person concerning this matter. I believe as a matter of record, since it was put forward at this meeting, it should be included in the minutes for this meeting for the future. I believe this board has yet to decide whether that is going to be the final version or not.
Can you reread the motion, Diane?
It seems as though there's two motions on the floor. If Trustee Daly is making a motion regarding to Chair Everman's statement being part of the record, that's one item of business. Did you put that in the form of a motion? And if so, then that's a motion on the floor. However, there was already a motion on the floor, which I was asking for clarification. Trustee Friedman was clarifying it, but he still clarified it by saying, submit the letter. So we don't know what the letter is, because what was before the board is determine whether a formal letter of acceptance should be referred to the attorneys, and the content of that letter is unknown. There is no letter specific that I am aware of. If that's part of the motion, it should be put in. There was a second. I have Trustee Daly said so moved when the item came up.
Yes.
And then Trustee Friedman seconded it. But again, the item is not in the form of a resolution or a motion on the agenda. So it's up to the board to turn it into a motion, is what I'm suggesting.
So moved.
What's your motion?
My motion is that we accept the draft letter from Chairperson Everman and put it in the minutes for this meeting.
I thought we were back on, the first thing was about item A, which was about the letter being sent to the Mott Foundation. And so the second thing, or we haven't even made a motion on Trustee Everman's, his request that it be put on the website and in the minutes. So that hasn't even come before us. So the thing that we need to get right now is figure out, which we already have from the first meeting. We already authorized the college and the ad hoc committee to send the letter to the Mott Foundation accepting those dollars. If something was written above and beyond that the attorney said, well, that goes above and beyond, so be it. We can default just to the original intent, which doesn't even need a motion because it's already been moved upon. The direction is still the same. As to whether or not we have the board attorney review it to make sure it complies with our motion, I'm fine with that, but it's like the letter should be from the Board of Trustees, And if trustee Everman wants to sign as board chair, then by all means. But we already have, this is a decided issue.
Yeah.
You know, and so I just want it done, like, tomorrow. There's no reason we can't have a letter go to the Mott Foundation tomorrow. It's easy.
So we have a motion on the board with trustee Daly. Should a letter go from the board to the foundation? We're going to take a roll call vote on that.
We already decided that in October, that we're sending the letter to the Mott Foundation. So we do, right now, how does the motion read?
There's a motion on the floor that has to be voted on. Trustee Daly, do you want to say your motion again? Other than should a letter go from the board to the foundation?
First of all, there's no second, so I'll withdraw my original motion at this point. And I think, and I'm going to yield the floor to trustee Freeman to make the motion.
So, Madam Chair, I make a motion that by tomorrow, a letter is drafted to the Mott Foundation accepting their offer of $250,000 for the purpose of the presidential search.
Second.
And as a caveat, if we want to have the attorney review it to make sure it complies with the motion, that's fine, but it should be the motion coming from, or the letter coming from the Board of Trustees who agreed to do this, and then board chair can sign on behalf of the Board of Trustees.
And I seconded that.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table and we have a second. We're going to go to a roll call vote.
Discussion.
Sure, go ahead.
And this is just about, this is essentially, in my view, a thank you note to the Mott Foundation. I go back to what my grandmother used to tell me after Christmas was be sure you get your thank you notes out within 2 or 3 days afterwards. This is where we need to get this done and get this done quickly. This does not mean that, and to the administration, this does not mean that there are maybe other contacts that have to be made in coordination that has to be affected regarding a grant. This just is simply us thanking the Mott Foundation, us, the board, and Mott Community College for taking an interest in what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Daly. So we have a motion on the table.
Madam
Diane,
Chair?
if you want. Yes.
Madam Chair.
So the chair submitted a letter to Ridgeway White, and Jordan is going to read that.
It's not that hard.
Trust Chair, those need to go after this letter is written.
Chair, the last letter that we have that was sent to the Mott Foundation that I have on record is on October 3rd, and that was signed by you, Chair of the Ad Hoc Committee. Has there been an additional letter that was sent that not
There's
privy
other
to?
communications that Ridgeway and I have had, and there's a letter that he responded because I memorialized everything with him. And then he sent a letter back and agreed. And Wendy, if you could now share that with them, because there is something else that they're looking for. Do you want me to read this, Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
Okay. October 23rd. Dear President White, it was a pleasure to speak with you on October 15th, 2024, regarding the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation's grant offer in connection with Mott Community College's search for a permanent president. Pursuant to the foundation's offer to fund a national search conducted by a nationally recognized search firm, the MCC Board of Trustees voted on October 8th to retain a search firm for a national search under the direction of the board's ad hoc committee. In my capacity as chair of both the MCC Board of Trustees and the ad hoc committee, I reached out to you to discuss the next steps going forward in this matter. I advised you that the ad hoc committee would meet to recommend a budget for the search that would require approval by the full board. Once a budget is in place in connection with the permanent presidential search, a request for the subject grant would be submitted to the foundation. During our telephone conversation, you indicated no objection to this process. If this letter does not correctly memorialize our conversation, I ask that you advise me accordingly. I anticipate that the ad hoc committee will be working on this matter in the near future. Best regards, Andy, Chairman of the Board. Then I received a letter from Redgway. It's addressed to me as chair. Dear Mr. Everman, Chairman Everman, thank you for your letter dated October 23rd, 24. The Mott Foundation is still willing to entertain the funding of national presidential search once you have a budget prepared. We've had the ad hoc committee meetings. We've not been able to get to that portion of it. We got two parts of the ad hoc committee thing that we're talking about now, but we're trying to get this all put together so they have a full understanding, because as each of you know, this is going to cost much more than $250,000 for this search. I'm sorry, there was a comment that was made by a fellow trustee out of order.
Trustee Freeman.
So can you please back up or evidence that comment you just made, that it's going to exceed $250,000?
Go through your budgets, talk to the other community colleges in the state, what they have spent.
No,
Trustee
you.
Everman,
So
Trustee Everman,
that.
Trustee Everman, through the chair, please.
Until we have a full budget put together by the ad hoc committee. Could you clear the court? Until we have a budget put together by the ad hoc committee, we don't know exactly what it's going to cost, so that we could share that with the Mott Foundation.
Trustee Freeman.
My recommendation would be is that the ad hoc committee start looking at the evaluation of the proposals so that they could really determine of those people who presented and what their costs were listed within this, that they could begin to build out a budget which is required by the foundation. And so saying that the budget should go in first, you're just going to have to do a budget amendment because you're going to suggest something that may not actually give the line items for the grant which are required. So why don't we talk about a process which actually brings us into evaluating proposals so we know who we want and how much it's going to cost, so that we can go back to the Mott Foundation and say this is who we're working with and this is how much it's going to cost. So if the ad hoc committee wanted to do something, get the board members together so we can finally evaluate these proposals, which we could have done when the RFP was actually issued, and then we would already know how much it's going to cost and who's going to do it. So perhaps ad hoc committee has been spinning their wheels waiting for something which is actually out of sequence. So what I would recommend is that the ad hoc committee right now start this process, bringing the board together, and I believe we have some dates that the candidates or the people who responded to the RFP, that we know a date that we could actually interview people. So we can review the proposals, interview them, we get the date, we choose the person, we submit the final budget to the Mott Foundation. Easy.
Madam Chair?
Should, do we think an additional letter should be sent out to the foundation?
Well, I mean, we're just finding out about this additional correspondence, which was never brought to us. Had we known that there had been something submitted, and that the request was around the budget, I think it would have been easier for the entire board to provide guidance and feedback. So now, at this point, I think the additional letter on behalf of the Board of Trustees would be great, so that doesn't need to change. I would say that the next thing I would do is make a motion more on the process that we need to follow, which is actually review the proposals, schedule the date for the interviews, and do the selection. That's probably going to be my next motion.
Diane, what motions are still on the table? Is it the one for?
There is just one motion on the table.
Just for the record, that letter was actually emailed to all of the trustees from Jordan the day that.
Okay.
That's
fine, but we've met 100 million times in the interim too, so we could have gotten a status update through an ad hoc committee. So like I said, we have a motion on the board. I'm done monopolizing the floor for the motion which is on the board. I think we have some other things that we need to get to, as opposed to spinning our wheels on this.
I'm just clarifying that the board did receive a copy of the
that's
letter.
Great. Let's move forward. Thank you, Shonda. We got it.
Madam
It's
Chair?
8:11.
Diane, what motion was still on the table? Was it the additional letter going from the board to the foundation?
Yes, the motion was put forth by Trustee Friedman. It said, by tomorrow, that the board send a letter accepting the $250,000 grant from the CSS Mott Foundation for the purpose of the presidential search.
Madam Chair? My fellow colleague has painted a picture that the information from the letters were not shared. And the
God. Come
interim
on.
president
Can we call the
clearly
question?
pointed out that
Madam
that
Chair,
has been
call the question.
shared.
Call the question, please.
Michael.
I don't want to fight anymore. This is my last meeting. Let's just get through it. This is enough of this. This is getting juvenile.
Okay, there's a motion on the table.
No, Madam Chair, you now have to, the question has been called, so you have to vote on whether or not the debate is ending. So now we have to have a vote on that first.
No. Someone can object, I guess, if you want, and then we can call the question, and then, oh my God. He's getting us.
Call the question, roll call vote. Should an additional letter go from the, no, can you restate his motion, please?
Certainly. The motion was, by tomorrow, that the board send a letter accepting the grant of $250,000 from the CS Mott Foundation for the purpose of the presidential search.
So there's a motion on the table. Who seconded that?
He called the question. He called the question.
Trustee
So you
Reyes,
first have to do
that's
that.
a second.
Trustee Freeman, I'm asking who seconded it. Okay. Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Everman.
No.
Trustee Freeman.
Yes.
Trustee Reyes.
Yes.
Trustee Daly. Yes. Trustee Swanson.
No.
Trustee Wolcott, no.
Motion failed. Debate continues.
Motion fails. Andy.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Michael.
I'd like to make a motion that we create the schedule for reviewing and interviewing people who responded from the RFP so that we can finally get this process underway for the new board so that they can make their selection of the new college president.
Second.
The results being creation of a budget which can be then submitted.
Madam President, Chair?
I made a motion. Discussion is after the second. Is there a second? You did?
Andy, I'm
Yes.
turning it back over to you.
Thank you.
Trustee Freeman, was that a combined motion to schedule the interviews and then also to set a budget, two different items?
Just so we start moving in some direction and then we can create the budget. Yep.
Thank you, Trustee Wilcott. So we have a motion on the floor. To bring in this national search committees,
That's not the
search
motion.
firms, and to set up dates with them to do this. In discussion, yes, Mr. Freeman.
Yeah, could we hear from Human Resources what the date is, which has been determined, which would be where
Trustee Freeman?
people would be through the
Please direct
chair,
your
through the
comment to the
chair,
chair.
through the chair. Can we please ask the HR department to give us the date so that we can start figuring out what we need to do?
Thank you.
Thank you.
There is a request to have the human resource come forward. While she's coming forward, we have an option of having them come remotely, or we could have them come in person. When it was first approached about this to the chair by Human Resources, we looked at how much it would cost to have them come in to give us the presentation as opposed to doing it remotely. It would be less expensive if we did it that way. Christie?
Response to the chair. Let me ask a question. Are you suggesting that we pay vendors to come in and give us a presentation for a contract that they're bidding for?
Christie, is that what you told me usually happens?
Actually, I'm asking you.
Well, that was my understanding when we discussed this, that there was going to be an expense involved with them coming to town. And if there was, could we do it where we did it with a remote meeting with them?
I've clarified that we do not have to pay for their travel expenses to come to present to us. That said, we only have responses from 2 of the search firms at this time on dates that they would be available to come here to present. Greenwood, Asher and Associates is free anytime on December 4th, and AGB Search said anytime on December 5th. We have not heard from Academic Search yet on a date that they're available.
Pleasure of the board. Trustee Reyes.
On December 5th,
I was just going to say that.
members of the board are going to be at a GLI in Lansing, Michigan, so won't be available.
Any other comments? Would we like to have personnel go back and look at other dates with them? Trustee Daly.
Well, I think we clearly, the board is already committed to GLI in Lansing for 2 days. So what is that, the 5th?
5th and 6th.
5th and 6th. We're going to have other dates around that. And at this stage, this late in the year, I think you go with what we've got, what they give us. It would be nice to have them all in one day. But if that can't be worked out, and we're starting to already see the impact of the holidays coming up, we need to get this done.
So is it the consensus of the board that we have Human Resources go circle back with the firms and find other dates?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes, because we're going to be gone the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Yeah, it's night of the 4th, and then 5th and 6th.
Okay.
And the
So,
second thing is,
without objection? Yes, Trustee Daly.
the other comment was, I don't believe, especially the first time we're meeting someone we're going to be doing business with, that I want to do it on Zoom. That I would prefer a face-to-face meeting. And especially if the dates are in, you've got some flexibility in that. Hopefully we can provide.
I will request additional dates.
Thank you. Any other questions for the Human Resources, Christie? Seeing none, thank you very much. We now move to special presentations.
Mr. Chair, there's a motion on the floor.
Okay. Would you read the
Did you want me to read the motion?
motion?
My understanding of the motion that's on the floor, it was made by trustee Friedman, was to schedule for interviews the national search candidates for interviews with the board, and also that the ad hoc committee would create a budget for the search. Did I miss anything?
Yep.
So I don't know
second.
what the circling back, how that relates.
Okay. Trustee Daly?
I agree with, that we can do that. The next thing, the only thing I would say is let's not get into this sequential trap again that we were in. That there's no reason why these things can't be done concurrently. We know we're going to, it's a question of us identifying the money that we're going to need to spend to the Mott Foundation. They've already committed to an amount. So certainly by the time we are ready to bring a firm under contract and have expenditures probably after the first of the year for that firm, at least in late December, then we go, there's no reason why we shouldn't be proceeding on a parallel track.
Right.
Thank you. Any other comments? So the motion again?
The motion is for the board to schedule interviews with the national search candidates and to have the ad hoc committee create a budget for the search.
Okay. Roll call vote. Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Trustee Freeman?
Yes.
Trustee Swanson?
I have no idea.
So what's going to happen, Christie's going to figure out some dates with the national firms, and the ad hoc committee, which consists of Jeff and John and myself, we're going to meet concurrently to start putting together budget.
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion passes. Now, special presentation, June 30th, 2024, financial statement audit and presentation.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Is there any business this evening that can this be postponed? I don't see anything that needs to be actions, but I just think it's, I'm sorry, other than the audit, we need to get through the audit, but anything after?
That's what we've just called up.
What I'm asking is that after we do the special presentation with the auditors, can we basically table this, the rest of this, till the next meeting?
Thank you and welcome. Don't forget to turn your microphone on. Press the button on the bottom so the green light comes on. Perfect, got it, thank you.
Okay, good evening. All right, again, so Michelle Fowler, and I am here to present the audit. So before I go into my detailed PowerPoint presentation, I did want to provide the board with the results of the audit for fiscal 2024. So the college did receive an unmodified or clean opinion on its June 30th, 2024 audit, and so that's the best type of results that the college could have. I also wanted to point out that we did not have any audit adjustments as a result of our audit procedures, and we did not have any comments that needed to be provided to you in writing. What I mean by that is we did not have any internal control comments that were material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. We did have a couple of items that we included in the management letter, but those were just best practices. Those were just recommendations as it related to just tidying up some items related to general IT controls. And that was a result of us having to do more audit procedures on that in response to a required audit standard that we had to follow as the audit firm. But nothing to be concerned about, but we did have those included. And then also as part of our audit, we do have to come in and test all of the federal awards programs that the college has. And so we issued a separate audit that's called the Single Audit Act Compliance Report. And I'm happy to report that that also was a clean report, no findings for the major programs that would have been looked at. And we actually had 3 total, and so wanted to make sure that the board was aware of that. So certainly a very clean audit. So I do want to point out to the board how important that is, because being the external audit firm, we only come in once a year. We're not looking at things throughout the year. And so it's good to know that you can rely on that information that is coming from your finance office for the information that you're using to make decisions for the college. So that's what I have there, but I do have some more information here for you for fiscal 2024. So Jordan, if you want to go ahead and flip that. Okay, that is hard to see. What I wanted to point out for the statement of net position, you will see that this is for all of the funds. So when we come in and we do the audit for the college, we're looking at all of the funds combined. And so this basically goes through and summarizes the assets and the liabilities, and then the ending net position that the college has. And the college did end the year at about $90.7 million in net position, and that was about a $16 million increase from 2023. And then on the next slide, so we just talked about what the net position was for the college for all of its funds. This is a chart that shows the general fund revenues. So you can see the pie chart as well as the balances below. And so you can see by the various categories. And so of course, the big 3 would be the tuition and fees, the state appropriations, and the property tax levy. Not too big of a difference as far as looking at the percentages of those general fund revenues to total revenues, a little bit of a shift, more with tuition and fees and more with the property tax levy. But a nice increase of just under 5.3 million compared to the year before. And we can go to the next slide, Jordan. Thank you. All right, and then similar to we just looked at the general fund revenues, this gives you a nice snapshot for the year for the general fund expenditures. And so this is summarized by each of the functional categories, and you would expect that the area where the college spends most of the money would be on instruction for its students. So that was about 39% of total expenses. And you can see the other allocations a little bit more in student services expenses this year, and then some declines in some other areas. But about a $3.4 million increase in expenses during the year. But that makes sense because there was additional, as we just talked about, operating revenues. And then I just wanted to conclude this last slide here. You can see the general fund net position history for the last 5 years, and you can see that each year it is increasing. It was about a $1.1 million increase from the prior year to get to just over $14.1 million. And it is important to note with that net position that that's about 2 months worth of what those general fund expenditures would be. So if you think back to what we just looked at for 2024, so that's good to know that you have that solid fund balance for those future expenditures. And that concludes my formal presentation, unless anyone has any questions.
Trustee Daly.
Is it okay if I face the auditor?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Go back to that last chart with the general fund.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who would be better, Larry, either you or the auditors, but would it be possible to get that breakout in terms of net present value over the last, showing the, the previous years, and then show net present value? Because, one thing is, if you're just using now your dollars for that, the impact of inflation obviously isn't there, and that's a significant factor in the last 2 years. So that's something I'd like to see if that's possible. Do you think you guys could provide that? Yeah, just those 5 figures that are there. Yes, to see how our purchasing power
Trustee
at the
Dean.
college is staying, yes.
I believe you're asking for inflation adjusted versus the net present value.
Okay, inflation, I do understand the difference. I'll take inflation adjustment. That make it easier? Great, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of October 28th.
So moved.
So moved, and we have a second. Any corrections, changes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. Minutes for October 28th have been approved. Meeting from November 7th, yes, approved.
Mr. Chair, may I suggest that you recess this meeting so that we can get out of here and we can pick these up at a later date, pick the rest of these up at a later date?
Okay. Recess the meeting, and then we can reconvene it on the 25th and post it. Because we have all of the administrative items that need to be taken care of. Okay. Without objection, we will recess the meeting and reconvene it on November 25th at 5:30 p.m.